Alright, AD Fits. Going over the movement of a deadlift. A couple things we want to do first. First thing we want to do is make sure we have a proper setup. Okay, so my feet positioning, I want to make sure that my feet are all the way under the bar. I want to over exaggerate on this and make sure that the bar is even touching my shins. You'll see people typically doing deadlifts, athletes will wear long socks. They do that for the reason of the bar actually touching their, scraping their shins when they're doing the deadlift. And you don't want to be bleeding on your shins or anything. That's how exaggerated you want to be with that bar being close to your shins. All right, you want to be completely over the bar. This is going to allow for the movement to be as posterior as possible. We want the movement to be initiated from your posterior, and you want to keep it that way the whole time. You don't want any of your weight coming forward or any front action going on. All right, and so this is going to help that. So we have our positioning of our feet. We're completely up close toward the bar. Next thing, I want to make sure that my upper body is organized even before I do anything with my legs. So what I mean by this is I want to make sure that my back is naturally straight. Doesn't mean I pop my hips out and curve my thoracic spine, causing any kind of injury during the movement. Don't want to do that. However, what I can do is I can tighten my core, flex my abs, and you'll notice that your back will naturally become straight and naturally erect itself in that strictness. All right. So I flex my abs, my back is straight naturally. I keep that flexed as I bend over. Now I want to bend over, but I don't want to bend my knees yet. Okay, so I'm still working on just my upper body. I want to keep my back perfectly straight as I bend down. So I bend down, keeping my feet proper. I bend down. My back's still straight, still straight. As soon as I feel that tension on my hamstring and I notice that I can't go any farther down without my back rounding, that's when I begin to bend my knees. Okay, so I'm bending over. And I slightly start to bend my knees again, but drop my hips down, all right, just enough to where I can actually grab the bar, okay? So my back is still straight, now my hips are dropping, my knees are bent, but my shins are still up to that bar, all right? Down, I keep my head up, and now I'm in a good position to bring up this bar. Now you'll notice, if you're in the proper position, you're gonna feel tension in your glutes, you're gonna feel tension in your hamstrings, all right? You want that though. That's gonna kind of verify that you're having a good posterior posture in order to initiate this movement. I bend over, I'm down, oh, I feel it in my glutes, I feel it in my hamstrings. This is a good position. I can rest on my heels now. You know you're in a good position when you can kind of rock back and rest on those heels. That's a good deadlift position. Now with the movement, again, this is a posterior movement, so we want to keep that posterior chain, basically like a chain's hanging down from my back. I want to keep that posterior chain strict and erect, all right? So I'm not going to be bending over forward, and I'm not going to be leaning backwards. I want to keep my hips in line. So I'm down, and you'll notice my hips come up and my back follows immediately, okay? So I'm not coming up like this, straightening up, and then doing a straight leg deadlift. It's not that much of a separation between the movements, but at the same time, I'm not, getting my torso up first and then lifting up my legs, because I want to keep this a posterior movement, okay, with my posterior chain. All right, so I'm back down, locked out. You notice my hips are open, they're exposed. So this is a counted rep. I'm not closing my hips. If I only come up this far and then come back down, then that rep's not going to count. Okay, you want to make our reps count. So that's your deadlift. Make sure you keep that posterior chain. You'll notice as you get heavier, it's going to be easier for your back to round and for you to lose your mechanics. Be careful. Try and keep that from happening, especially also with workouts that have a high volume of reps. Try and keep that from happening as well, and just work on those mechanics, work on those forms. Keeping your shins up close to the bar is going to help prevent rounding your back. You'll be over the bar more and in a little better positioning for that. Now that's your deadlift. So review the video, work on those, and try and keep those mechanics during the lift, and make it happen. Until next time, this is Adam with Dunetos Fitness. God bless you.